All right, welcome to Old World Gaming. Um, so tomorrow, my son and I are playing our third game of Old World, and I need to choose a scenario for us. So we've done what have we played so far? We've done the classic open battle, which used to be called pitch battle, and I think they still kind of in the rules they haven't quite got over that because some of this they still talk about pitch battle in other ways. Here you go. So this one here says, I don't know if you can read that actually. Let me bring it a little bit closer. This scenario represents a battle fought to the grim death, a battle not unlike a pitched battle, but one that will rage until one side is forced to concede. This one, if you notice, is called Breakpoint, and if we look here, it tells you the list of pitched battles, which is what they're all called, the pitched battle table, and Breakpoint is a pitched battle. So previously, the one that's known as open battle at the top of the list is the one that was called pitched battle. So I think, like in here, they're still using that language because it is obviously this one is very much like that one in terms of setup. So maybe we'll play that one. I'm not sure what the other options are actually. Flank attack, yeah, that's quite classic. I don't know how it works in this one yet. We did this one last time, meeting engagement. It didn't go particularly well. I lost horrendously. Like, really horrendously. If you've seen the second battle report we did, that was the Empire versus Empire, and my knight started right here, and he deployed his Hellblaster volley gun and wizard right opposite and just destroyed them. Now I did make a mistake in rules, obviously it's our second game, first time I've ever used Empire really, in Old World at least, and I panicked and ran away, but I've had it pointed out to me that the chapter master, who was my general, was in the unit and he makes the unit immune psychology. So they shouldn't have run away and potentially could have caused some damage, but I don't think they would have made it into the Hellblaster in that first turn. So I think they probably would have just taken another out. There were only 3 knights and the general left, so I think they probably would have just got destroyed by his wizard and Hellblaster anyway. But it might have made a difference. I literally only killed one handgunner from his entire army. He basically deployed his handgunners round here, far enough away that I can get to them very quickly, which was a wise move really. And his Hellblaster and wizard directly opposite my knights, and there were some forests here, so I couldn't really. It was hard for me to see his stuff. So yeah, he just completely destroyed me and decimated me. But there we go. So we've done that one, and we've done the open battle, like the classic pitch battle, now called open battle. So we could do. That was Breakpoint. So we could do Breakpoint. I read through the rules for that the other day. So maybe maybe we could do that one. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. Flank attack, possibly. Our armies are quite small, so we have kind of written up our army list. So I'll show you those in a minute. We've done that one already. The Mountain Pass one. Now I have done this one with a friend who I was teaching how to play, and we did Dwarves versus Goblins. You know what? I could show you how that went. Yeah, let me quickly show you how that went. If I can find it. Blah blah blah. Here they are. So let me just pop them in here, so we can see them. Those and this one. Right, and that didn't work. I know what I'm doing, honest. I know how to use photos. That you can see this is very well planned. Here we go. Right, so oh no, help! It's hiding behind. Okay, let me make this video smaller. These are the army lists. I'll show you those in a minute. So this is the game that we played the other day. So hopefully you can see that. I mean, it's not too small. Can I make this bigger? I can make this bigger. Not much bigger though, because it's like basically full screen anyway. Okay, so yeah, so this is like a turn in to the game. So deployment, he hasn't actually moved yet. I have done one movement, so basically my stuff all started just further back. more or less in line with this block. So we were playing this this scenario. So this is the Battle of Mountain Pass, and the idea behind this is so we are deployed like that, and these are impassable sides, and so to represent you fighting in a mountain pass. So yeah, so it says here the scenario represents. Let me just bring it up a bit so you can see what I'm reading. This scenario represents a battle fought in such a pass. The battle is long but narrow, making simple maneuvers difficult and outflanking almost impossible, which is true. Consequently, such battles become matters of attrition in which only the most courageous will prevail. It was Goblins versus Dwarves. You can kind of guess what happened. So basically, normal deployment, normal first turn thing. The game length. So this is interesting. Game length is a random number of rounds, or until one side concedes. Starting at the end of the 5th round, roll a dice. At the end of every round, add the round number to the dice roll. If total is 10 or more, the battle ends immediately. If total is less than 10, the battle continues for at least one more round. So, in practice, what this means is, on turn 5, on a 5+, the game ends. Turn 6, it's a 4+, until you get down to, like, turn 10. Yeah, I know I won't spoil the surprise for how that went. Yes, so this is the bit that says the battle is fought in narrow mountain pass enclosed by high cliffs. Because of this, the long battlefield edges over here count as impassable terrain. As such, no units, including fleeing units or any arriving from reserve, can leave or enter the battlefield via either long edge unless they have the ethereal or fly special rule. I didn't read that bit, but I don't think either of us, with Dwarves and Goblins, none of them have ethereal fly. Once the battle has ended, use victory points to determine which player is the winner. Standard victory points. So yeah, so we played it like that, basically, with the impossible terrain. Well, I'll show you. That's why I got the photos out. So yeah, so this is, you can see I've put like trees and rocks along the edge to kind of represent it, and we had these hills. So yeah, so this was our mountain pass, as it were. So obviously the dwarves, the scouts had alerted the dwarves that there was a goblin horde on the way. Yeah, so they sent some iron breakers and thunderers. Slayers heard there were some trolls, so they turned up as well, and obviously the rangers who sounded the alarm. He has also got an organ gun on the hill, because when there's hordes of troops coming, what more could you want other than a organ gun? Well, maybe a rock lover or a stone thrower would be good. And then I had my so this was 750 points, I guess. I think that's what this goblin army is. I'm trying to remember now. So this is the goblin army that I've been gradually working on. My current unit that I'm working on at the moment is these squig hoppers. I'll be very happy to have them done and in the army. And then they can join Walloper with his one-hit wonder. Now, sadly, I will have to make them an open order unit because they can't join him he can't join them in skirmish formation, which irks me greatly. But I get it, because the first game I played, I did put them in skirmish formation with my 2 war bosses on squigs, and they were excellent. Like, they probably were broken. So yeah, I am sad though that they can't go in skirmish formation, because they were excellent. But there we go. So long as they work in open formation and can be not crap, then I'll be happy. If they suck, then it'll be sad, because I really want to. I mean, I've got this guy to paint up, which is my second war boss on Giant Squig. He's very cool, and I really want to separate. Like, buy another Mangler Squig, separate them, and have them with war bosses on top. Just because I love Squigs, they're just so cool. But if they don't work very well with the war bosses in the Squig Hopper unit as open order, I probably won't. But yeah, so there we go. So anyway, so this is after my first turn. Like, I've got my Snotlings up there. I forgot they had Vanguard. So I didn't do a Vanguard move, but they just can move. They're just really quick. They move 10 inch. They've got 5 inch movement for Snotlings, which is weird. Like, Goblins are 4 inch movement, Snotlings are 5 inch movement. You'd think they'd be like 3 or something. But yeah, so they pegged it 10 inches. My Trolls failed their stupidity test, even though they're next to my leadership 9 general, and just wandered forwards. But that was probably a good thing, because my I put I ran out of room, like I was right across, and characters go down last, so I filled up the entire front, and I was like, oh man, where am I going to put my squig? And I put him behind the trolls, which was the right move to make, and I did it by accident, because the trolls move in the beginning of the turn when they do their stupidity test. At least that's how I've read it at the moment. Maybe they should move later on, but I've read it that they certainly do their stupidity test right at the beginning, so then I just moved them forwards. Oh, you know what, I should check that out. Oh, this is the rulebook. I was like, where's the rulebook? I need to find the rulebook. Let's quickly look at stupidity and see if I did that right or wrong. Because I felt like I read that they you just move them when you do their test. Where's the rules? Universal special rules type things. Standard bearer, that's just around here, isn't it? Yeah, here we go. Run stupidities on this page. Moves during the compulsory move phase. I knew that. Okay, so but that's fine actually, because the squigs move in the compulsory move phase as well. Oh, sorry, let me just show you what I'm reading. So stupidity. So unless it's engaging in combat, a unit with this special rule must make a stupidity test during the start of turn sub-phase of the turn. To make a stupidity test against the unit's leadership characteristic. If the test failed, the unit becomes stupid. And I missed the bit where it says moves during the compulsory move sub-phase, and just skipped to the bit where it says must move straight ahead without performing any movers, can't march or declare a charge. So so I made the stupidity test at the start of turn, just like it says, and then I just moved them straight ahead then. But there weren't any other moves to make. There was no charges or anything, so that technically was the next thing to do in the game anyway, so that was fine. But it's good to know that it's done in the compulsory moves phase, because I hadn't clocked that. But as it happens, it didn't matter here, and probably wouldn't matter any other time. I don't know, maybe it would. But anyway, so they moved forwards, which meant that Walloper could then bounce past them in his compulsory move. But it meant he was in the way of the archers, but I cared a lot less about the archers than I did about these guys getting into combat. And these guys just moved as far as they could, 8 inches, and they moved 10, which you can see they made it further up the board than they did. And the shaman kind of trundled along behind. And then, so then my opponent, so you can see here is measuring his handgunners and the organ gun on the hill, looking at Walloper. I can't remember if he was in range. What's that? 12 and 24 inch range. I guess he was in range. So I wasn't really taking photos of the game properly because I wasn't planning to do a battle report. So I can't remember all the things that happened, but he definitely shot him a few times during our game. So in the next turn, he's clearly shot some snotlings because they've started taking casualties. Yes! So, I didn't realise how good Rangers were at shooting. Dwarf Rangers are ballistic skill 4, which is excellent. Because like most dwarves are only ballistic skill 3, but Rangers are ballistic skill 4, and they come with crossbows, and crossbows have got a 30-inch range. So they're at half range at 15 inches, which is still a decent distance away. Like goblin archers are at long range at 18 inches, so only 3 inches more than the half range on the Rangers. So they were just like, they were taking out, well, they took out the whole back rank of these guys, right? So yeah, very, very good. I do rate Rangers. I mean, I love Rangers anyway. I've always loved Rangers. And I think skirmish formation's new. Because I don't remember. I didn't play 8th. I've mentioned before I didn't really play 8th. I played like one game of 8th with my Dark Elves maybe. But yeah, so Rangers always used to be a block like this, a block infantry regiment, which I didn't mind. I always used them like that. But then I never took crossbows with them, so I just always took them without the crossbows because you could do that. But yeah, so now they can go in skirmish formation. They are well worth having the crossbows, and they're ballistic skill 4, so they are just excellent. I love Rangers. They're like one of my favourite units. And now that you only have to deploy just 12 inches away from the enemy rather than hiding behind something, they're so much more versatile. Because again, in previous editions, or at least 6th and 7th edition, you had to be out of line of sight in order to scout, and that made it quite hard to, particularly on a board like this. I guess you could hide, you possibly could have hidden behind this, but maybe not, because Snotlings would have been able to see this way. So yeah, maybe there wouldn't have been anywhere to hide, and you couldn't get behind my line because we were 12 inches in from the board edge, so there wasn't any space. So yeah, now that they can just skirmish ahead of the army, scout ahead of the army, that's really good. Anyway, so you can see here it's turn 2. I've moved up twice. I think, I don't know if he's done any movement actually. He's just been content to shoot me with all of his units. So yeah, that's what's going on there. I think I must have taken this before I moved my shaman. Not really sure. But the trolls passed their stupidity test. They didn't. Yeah, they definitely failed it a couple of times during the game, but they were in range to pass it. So that was good, but they still got stuck behind everything else moving. So yeah, there we go. Yes, he definitely shot a lot at not Nobbler or Nibbler, Walloper. So yeah, just some, I don't know, I thought they were cool shots. Like I say, I wasn't really taking a blow by blow set of photos, so there's no top down, here's what's going on. Just more some cool shots. This is the Night Goblins rounding the corner after having been shot lots by them, to see the Iron Breakers waiting round the corner, and the goblins start to poop their pants, basically. It's not I mean, this is not a pleasant sight to see as you round a corner when you're a Night Goblin. Just like, obviously you knew the Rangers were there shooting at you, and to see these Slayers and all the Iron Breakers and the Organ Gun, that is definitely a scary sight to behold when you're a Night Goblin. So this is turn 5. So clearly lots of stuff has happened up here. The spearmen charged in. Oh yeah, wait, okay. So they released their fanatics and killed most of the ranger unit. The fanatic that went into them, like I say, killed most of them, and went through the slayers and didn't injure him, so he just kind of like dodged out of the way. Another one went straight for the Iron Breakers, did 1 wound, and it just bounced off his shield because it's just -3 AP rather than previous editions. It was no armor save. It'd been no armor save. He'd have killed one. Well, there we go. Yeah, no damage. I was gutted about that. But there we go. The Snotlings obviously have been shot lots. The Trolls got shot as well. Walloper got shot when he was about here, and they just like mowed him down. The Archers got shot and ran away. This, what is that? I can't even remember now. Oh, that's the Foot of Gork. That's Gork doing some tapping over there. Yes, so after the fanatics, the spearmen charged into the Rangers. The Rangers lost the combat and ran away, but then they rallied. They fell back in good order, basically. I can't remember. I think that the goblins didn't actually catch them in time, but then they got charged by the Iron Breakers and the Rangers, and between them they just like mullered loads of goblins, and then they pegged it, basically. The Slayers obviously charged into the Troll. No, they didn't charge the Troll. They moved to here, and then the Troll and the Snotlings charged the Slayers. The Troll passed his leadership test on like a 4. I was so pleased because like they never pass their leadership tests. My Trolls barely pass a leadership 9 test. Oh yes, my general is dead. They've stolen my banner. I think the generals went like toe to toe, and he just destroyed me. But yeah, and then in this combat, I don't think the Slayers did anything. I can't remember if they. Well, no, they haven't done anything there. I don't think they did anything to the Snotlings. I think they all just attacked the Troll. And yeah, so I think I won the combat, but the Slayers obviously didn't care. Yes, and I pushed them back a little bit. But yeah, so these guys ran away, and then they charged them again and made them run further. And then it was turn 5, and the game ended because he rolled a 5. But the game was basically over. I didn't think it was going so bad because I killed those and was starting to take down the slayers. And then when we looked at them, I was like, oh, actually, all I did was kill most of that unit and one slayer, and that was it. And he's just destroyed basically my entire army. So yeah, it was a good fun game. Yeah, I'm just a little bit annoyed actually that I didn't take more photos, but that it wasn't really the right kind of context. Like I say, I just had someone over and was teaching him how to play. And he'd never played before, so yeah, there we go. But it was a lot of fun, yeah, I quite like the scenario. I guess if you have larger forces, so these were 750, which is fine in this kind of pass. Maybe in a larger with more points, you'd like double the board width, but maybe not. Maybe this is fine, and just like imagine if you had like a 2,000 point battle on it, it'd be mayhem. But maybe that's right, like because you're in a mountain pass, so maybe that's the right kind of size board. Who knows? But yeah, so there we go. So that was how that went anyway. So all that to say, I've played this one, and yeah, it was cool, and would play again. But not playing that today, or tomorrow, sorry, because try a different one. What is this? The Lonely Tower. Command and control. The old world is dotted with many important landmarks, be they watchtowers, arcane monoliths, grand mausoleums, and more beside. Many battles are fought around such landmarks, and very often control of the feature is a great boon to an army, either in terms of morale, position, or something more ethereal. This scenario represents a battle fought for control of a special feature, a significant terrain feature at the center of the table. This may be any of the special features described on page 272. Interesting. Place terrain as described on page 262. In addition, place a single special feature as described on page 272 in the center of the battlefield. Players should agree which special feature to use from the terrain available. Alright, let's have a look. 272. This is exciting. 272. Special features. Special features are terrain features that represent an important landmark. Some scenarios will specify that a certain special feature should be set up on the battlefield. Otherwise, players can agree to include a special feature when setting up the battlefield. Unless specified by the scenario, only a single special feature should be used. A special feature follows all the normal rules for the terrain feature it represents. I was just like processing that in my head. Okay, in addition to its special rules. Special features must be placed within 12 inches of the center of the battlefield. Wow, I mean, unless you're making your own up, but I guess, fine. Controlling a special feature. Special features can be controlled by units, and therefore by the army the unit belongs to. There are two ways in which a unit can control a special feature: proximity and occupancy. Benefits of control. Controlling a special feature grants a unit certain benefits which will often extend to other units in the same army. However, the benefits of controlling a special feature last only while it's controlled. Oh, I see, right. Buffs, basically. This means a special feature can be controlled by a unit that's within 6 inches of it. Oh, proximity means a special feature, right. That has a unit strength of 5 or more and isn't fleeing. If 2 or more eligible enemy units are within 6 inches, the unit closest to the special feature controls it. If 2 enemy units are equally close, the feature is contested and neither unit controls it. So, I'm surprised they didn't have the biggest unit, like the unit with the highest unit strength. Because like you could have 5 goblins and 20 ironbreakers, but the 5 goblins are contesting it and the 20 ironbreakers aren't controlling it. I feel like they're controlling it. If you're in that situation, the 20 ironbreakers are definitely controlling it. So a unit strength of 5 or more is all it takes to control or contest. Fine, there we go. Not my rules. Occupancy. This means that a special feature can only be controlled by a unit that's within it. A unit can occupy a special feature by moving into base contact with it during the remaining move's sub-phase of its movement phase. Once its movement is complete, the unit is placed within a special feature. While a unit occupies a special feature, it cannot charge. Okay. It can shoot and cast spells and is considered to have a 360 vision of arc from the special feature itself. Can be shot at and be targeted by spells. by a unit or wizard that can draw line of sight to the special feature. However, the unit is considered to be behind full cover. All measurements to or from a unit that occupies a special feature are made to or from the base of the feature rather than the individual models. Special features do not tend to be particularly large, therefore they can only be occupied by a single unit. Unless it's fleeing, a unit occupying a special feature can leave it during the remaining move subphase of its movement phase. By making a follow-up move, or by pursuing an enemy, simply place the unit in formation so that at least one model in its base is in base contact with the feature. The unit's movement then ends. I'm just processing that bit. Unit can leave it in a variety of different ways. So it can just basically, it can walk out, it can fight, follow someone up after fighting, or pursuing them after fighting. Fine. Okay. So these are the different ones then: Arcane Monolith, Monument of Glory, Dark Ruins, Tower. Okay, so there's four things defined here, and I guess they take the shape of whatever you need. So let's go for Arcane Monolith, and obviously you can come up with your own if you're just playing with mates. All across the world are areas where magical energy pools. Oh, where magical energy pools and gathers. I definitely read that as like magic ponds. Over the years, many races have attempted to tap into this mystical power source. An arcane monolith can take many forms, from elven waystones to beastmen herdstones and chaos altars. Wow, I have a beastman herdstone. Maybe we could use that. I feel like that's a great idea. Okay, controlling an arcane monolith. An arcane monolith is controlled by proximity, as described on the page we literally just read. A tingle in the air, special rules. The air around the arcane monolith tingles strangely, and those that stand too close report of a funny taste in their mouth. The unit that controls an arcane monolith gains magic resistance. Wizards are able to draw upon the power that seeps from the monolith, channeling it into their spells. If the arcane monolith is controlled by a wizard, I think you'll find controlling a special feature requires unit strength 5. A special feature can be controlled by a unit that's within 6 inches of it and has a unit strength of 5 or more. Your average wizard doesn't have a unit strength of 5. So I don't even know what that means. If you're in it, if a wizard's in a unit with unit strength 5. Yeah, I'm not sure that. Or if the arcane monolith is controlled by a wizard, that wizard may reroll a single dice that rolls a natural 1 when making a casting roll. How does a wizard control something that they need unit strength 5 to control? I guess be part of a unit. I'm just wondering if, like, the side that controls it and the wizard's in range by a unit that's within 6 inches of it. I think I would probably play that, unless I get told otherwise, that if you're the controlling side and you have a wizard within 6 inches of it, then you can use that locus of power. Because otherwise, I mean, that just reads weird. Anyway, moving on. Victory points. Controlling an important landmark is a significant achievement. To represent this, if either player controls this special feature at the end of the battle, that player is awarded a bonus of 50 victory points. 50 victory points doesn't sound like a massive achievement. I feel. Let's have a look. Where are victory points? I'm just going to see what other victory points. There they are. Look, you get 100 points for killing a general. Yeah, there you go. I don't know which is better, killing a general or claiming a thing. I guess it depends on the thing. But yeah, oh, well, fine. It's just they said it was special, like a significant achievement. You get 50 points, which is as many points you get for claiming someone's banner. Is that a significant achievement? I don't know. Anyway, you get 50 points for controlling an important landmark, or controlling an arcane monolith. I think the victory points is literally the same thing repeated over and over again, is it? Oh, no, you get 100 points for Dark Ruins for some reason. And 100 for a tower. Okay, fine. So you get 50 for a monolith, 50 for a monument of glory. What is a monument of glory? Many nations and races of the world celebrate their grand achievements or righteous beliefs by erecting monuments to their leaders and gods. A monument of glory can take many forms. It could be represented by a small patch of tumble-down columns, a group of dwarfen oath stones, or cane of skulls, and so forth. It might be the gilded statue of a god of war, a monolith declaring the triumphs of a chaos champion, or the rotted remains of the losers. The list is endless. Fine, okay. A monument of glory is controlled by proximity. A monument of glory fills all who look upon it with a sense of achievement, even if the achievement commemorated are not theirs, and inspires them to ever greater acts of bravery. If it was a pile of corpses, would your empire? I don't know, whatever. The unit that controls the Monument of Glory may re-roll failed panic tests. In addition, fine, just the unit, okay. In addition, all units that belong to the same army may re-roll failed rally test. Honour thy forebears. Many warriors are filled with a sense of righteous pride when tasked with the defence of Monument of Glory and will defend it vigorously. The unit controlling the Monument of Glory gains the hatred or enemy special rules. I'm surprised that wasn't stubborn. Defending it vigorously means they hate it. Alright, fine. And then 50 points for controlling it. So you get the unit gets to reroll failed panic tests. The rest of the army can reroll failed rally tests. And the unit gets hatred. Okay, fine. Is hatred only the first round of combat? No, I need to look this up. It's somewhere about here, I think. No, that's formations. Oh, I was close. I was actually literally only a couple of pages away. And then hatred is a H, so that's near E, F, G, H. H is over here. Hatred! Yeah, a model with this special rule may re-roll any failed rolls to hit made against a hated enemy during the first round of combat. Okay, fine. And it's not a new round of combat for give ground or fall back in good order. If you pursue or follow up, those are still the same combat, so you don't get it doesn't count as a new first round again. Okay, right, what's next? Dark Ruins. The old world is littered with dark and mysterious ruins, forgotten relics of bygone eras. A dark aura invariably surrounds such tumble-down stones, and coiling mists hang around their edges. Dark ruins might include the remnant of collapsed walls standing in a forbidden forest dell, a rune-etched trilithion, or the desecrated tombs and mausoleum of a garden of Moor. Okay. Dark ruins are a building, impassable terrain that can be occupied by a unit whose troop type is infantry, and which has unit strength of 20 or less, or by a character model of any troop type. Dark ruins are controlled by a unit that occupies them. Special rules. There's loads actually. Loads of special rules. Okay. Dark aura. If the unit occupying the dark ruins causes fear or terror, all enemy units must apply a -1 modifier to the leadership characteristic when making a leadership test due to fear or terror caused by the unit. Now that's really good. If you're occupying the building, it becomes harder to get you out of it, I guess, if you cause fear or terror. If the unit occupying the dark ruins does not cause either fear or terror, it becomes immune to both fear and terror. Actually, I can't remember what fear and terror do. No, wait, that's not where I thought it was. This is where I thought it was. What do fear and terror do? I should know this because I feel like trolls definitely cause fear. Does the giant cave squid cause fear? No, it doesn't, and it should do because it could, this giant cave squid could easily gulp a troll. Okay, fear. Models with this special rule cause fear. It's a really weird thing to say. If a unit wishes to declare a charge against an enemy unit that both causes fear and has a higher unit strength, it must first make a leadership test. If the test has failed, the unit cannot charge. See? So if you're in the dark ruins, it makes you really hard to get out because they're at -1 to that roll as well. So harder than normal. If it doesn't move and is considered to have made a failed charge, if the test is passed, the unit can charge as normal. So this is if the unit's got a higher unit strength. If it doesn't have a high unit strength, it doesn't have to take the test. Against enemy in both causes fear and has a high unit strength. So if you don't, so if a fear-causing unit doesn't have a high unit strength, then you're not scared of it. Okay, fine. If a unit is engaged with an enemy unit that both causes fear and has a high unit strength, when its combat is chosen during any choose and fight combat subphase, it must make a leadership test. If the test is failed, any models in the unit that direct their attacks against the fear-causing enemy suffer -1 modifier to the hit rolls. So, in this scenario that we're looking at, you're in these dark ruins, you cause fear. Not only does the unit have to pass a test to charge you, otherwise they can't, they also are -1 modifier because of the dark ruins. So that's the dark ruin benefit, -1 modifier, and also they have to take a leadership test to hit you properly. Any model in the unit that direct their attacks against fear-causing enemy unit are -1 modifier to the hit rolls. So yeah, so it's fear in general is harder to charge and less likely to hit than your average person, and in a dark ruins, both of those rolls get even harder. A unit only needs to make 1 fear test per turn. Models that cause fear are immune to fear. A unit doesn't cause fear does not become immune to fear when joined by a character that does. So if you only have to make 1 test per turn, then I guess that means if you passed your fear test to charge, then you automatically pass your fear test to hit, which is fine. Okay, and then terror. I think terror is about if you win combat, you make stuff really scared. Let's have a look. Terror. These are creatures so fierce that their mere appearance can cause the bravest to flee. Models with this special rule cause terror. Terror stuff also causes fear. When a unit that causes terror declares a charge, the charge target must immediately take a leadership test. If the test is failed, it must flee. So you don't have to be high unit strength. If the test is passed, it can declare its charge reaction normally. Okay, so terror stuff makes stuff run away. If the winning side of a combat includes one or more units that cause terror, each unit that belongs to the losing side must apply a -1 modifier to its leadership characteristic when making its break test. Very good. Models with the fear special rule fear models that cause terror. Models that cause terror are immune to terror. A unit that does not cause terror does not become immune to terror when joined by a character that does. So, yeah, so terror makes you run away. Fear makes it less likely to be charged or hit. So there you go. And I guess, and terror has all of those benefits. So terror also is, so terror is harder to, just like fear. So fear gets the hard to charge out, hard to hit. Terror gets hard to charge out, hard to hit, and will make you run away if they charge you, or will more likely to run away if they charge you. And if you lose a combat with them, you're more likely to break because you get -1. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then the Dark Ruins, the Dark Aura, is -1 modifier to leadership test when making a leadership test due to fear or terror caused by the unit. So if you're a terror-causing unit in a Dark Ruins and you win a combat, they're at -2 to take their test. So the Dark Ruins really benefit fear and terror-causing units. And if the unit occupying the Dark Ruins doesn't cause fear or terror, it becomes immune to both fear and terror. So there you go. Okay, defended position. When an enemy unit charges a unit within Dark Ruins, it charges the feature itself rather than models within it. When charging this way, a unit treats all of its arcs as a front arc. Oh, when a unit charged in this way, I think when charged in this way. Yeah, so okay, so that I'm just going to start reading again. I know what it's saying. The first sentence is about the charging unit. The second sentence is about the unit that has been charged. So, when an enemy unit charges a unit within Dark Ruins, it charges the feature itself rather than the models within it. When charged in this way, the unit inside the ruins treats all of its arcs as a front arc, meaning the enemy unit can claim no bonuses for flank or rear charges. A unit that occupies Dark Ruins is always considered to be behind a defended low linear obstacle. It's just getting harder and harder to hit these fear-causing units. Duck and cover. A unit that flees whilst occupying Dark Ruins doesn't move. The unit counts as fleeing and must rally as normal, but rather than run away, they will seek cover in the safety of the walls. What? So they don't actually... Wait, how do you get them out? In combat, a unit occupying Dark Ruins will not give ground or fall back in good order. Instead, the unit holds its ground and the combat continues. Should a unit occupying Dark Ruins break and flee from combat, it's completely destroyed and removed from play. Oh, okay, what? Wait, I'm not sure those two paragraphs actually work together. A unit that flees whilst occupying Dark Ruins does not move. The unit counts as fleeing and must rally as normal rather than run away. But rather than run away, will seek cover in the safety of the walls. So you flee. Oh, I see. Fine. So that's like if it flees from shooting or something like that. Okay. It just hides. In combat, a unit occupying Dark Ruins will not give ground or fall back in good order. Instead, the unit holds its ground and the combat continues. Should a unit occupying Dark Ruins break and flee from combat, it's completely destroyed and removed from play. Fine. Okay, so the duck and cover first benefit is from shooting and spells and stuff. Okay, huddled together. Should Dark Ruins ever be hit by a template, every model currently occupying it is considered to be underneath the template and risk being hit, as described on page 95. However, due to the protection offered by the walls of the feature, they're hit on a d6 roll of 5+ rather than the usual 4+. So everyone can get hit, no one's automatically hit from the looks of things, and it's harder to hit them. So there we go. Incoming. Should Dark Ruins ever be hit by a cannon whilst occupied, the unit within it suffers D3 strength 4 hits. That's not very many. Each with an AP of -1 as stones and shrapnel explode from the structure. The cannonball then stops immediately. I mean, D3 strength 4 hits aren't the worst, but it's not many. And you get 100 points. Yeah, so Dark Ruins are very good, particularly good if you cause fear or terror. But yeah, still good even if you don't. Okay, cool. And then the tower, which I imagine is like kind of the same but harder. Erected along roads and rivers on the borders between provinces and the outskirts of towns and forests, solitary towers are a common sight in the Old World. They exist for many reasons. Some may be watchtowers built for defense, others may be wizard towers erected for seclusion. Still others may be the derelict remains of forgotten forts or keeps. Controlling a tower. A tower is a building, impassable terrain that can be occupied by a unit whose troop type is infantry. Okay. So Dark Ruins can be occupied by... infantry. Yeah, just infantry as well. Okay, good to know. There's not many infantry that cause terror. Undead infantry, I guess. A unit strength of 10 or less. So you can only have 10 guys in it. Or by a character model whose troop type is infantry. A tower is controlled by a unit that occupies it. Was there a limit on troop type? Unit strength of 20 or less on Dark Ruins. Okay, fine. Good to know. I can't pronounce that word. Irie. Protected by tall walls and steep stairways, a unit that occupies a tower can only be charged by an enemy unit or character model whose troop type is infantry, or by an enemy unit with the fly special rule. Because it's a tower. I assume the tower's meant to be open on top. Maybe not. Maybe they could just attack through windows. When an enemy unit charges a unit within a tower, it charges the feature itself rather than models within it. Whilst engaging combat, both units are considered to be in skirmish formation. However, due to the close confines of the tower, only 5 models from either unit can join the fighting rank. Panoramic views. Take some photos while you're there. A tower is an elevated position that grants those occupying it uninterrupted views across the battlefield. However, the top of the tower can be seen from far and wide. To represent this, a unit that occupies a tower can draw a line of sight across or through other units of models. However, other units can draw a line of sight to a unit that occupies a tower across or through other units of models. Duck and cover is the same as before. Huddled together is the same as before. Incoming. Should a tower... So when I say the same as before, those are the 2 rules that we just read over here. Huddled together. Should... Oh no, we just read that one. Incoming. Should a tower be hit by a cannon? Same again. Okay, fine. So those 3 rules. Duck and cover. they don't run away, or if they do run away from combat, they die. Huddled together, they all get hit from templates. Incoming, the cannonball does D3 strength 4, and victory points 100. So these are the same, and these are the new rules. So there we go. Those are the special things. I feel like we'll play this scenario, and we'll use a Beastman Herdstone, or Chaos Herdstone, or Chaos Monolith, whatever you want to call it. Because I've got one that I made like a year or so ago. So it'd be perfect. Right, so let's get back to this then. So setup, you put one of them in the middle of the board. Deployment is normal deployment, so you roll a dice to see who deploys the first unit. The winner chooses which side they want and places their first unit. Chooses which player will deploy the first unit, sorry. So the winner chooses which deployment zone they want and decides who's going to place the first unit. First turn, the player who finishes deploying their army first gets +1 to their roll. Before the game begins, players can choose to play fixed length or random game length, which is the same as I just talked about on the mountain pass. So you can choose 6 rounds or random, yeah, literally as I described earlier. Once the battle has ended, use victory points to determine which player is the winner. The player that controls a special feature at the end of the battle wins a bonus of 200 points, in addition to any bonus the special feature may normally give. So there we go. So that does make it feel more like a significant victory. Great, wow. So you can like basically lose the battle, but if you've got that, then you're in with a much better chance than not, because that's at least 250 points. Could be 300 points, depending on the type. So there we go. Yeah, I think we'll do that. We'll do command and control the monolith. So I'll be using a chaos army, and my son's using an orc army. In fact, let's here we go. Here's my army anyway. Let me move these boys out of the way. I love the fact that they're plastic and not metal. So this is my chaos army. So I've got my Chaos Lord there. I actually can't remember. Well, I'll show you in a sec. We'll have a look together, see what he's got. This is my Chaos Sorcerer. So these are on demonic mounts. Hounds behind. Unit of Chaos Knights, which I'm planning to put these guys in. These are a unit of Spawn. So these are so I'll explain all these weird-looking models actually. So these are all Citadel models. But these are made of expanding foam. So when Storm of Chaos came out, they created the demon armies, which you already had in the Chaos book. So in 6th edition, Chaos had demons and warriors were all in the same army book. And then when Storm of Chaos came out, they made pure demon armies, and to make them more interesting, they introduced monstrous cavalry and chariots and stuff for all the different armies. So the Nurgle monstrous cavalry were called Plague Riders, and they were essentially plague bearers riding spawns. They were basically just spawns. And so you had to model them yourself because they didn't have any actual miniatures. So I used expanding foam and stuck a plague bearer in the top of each of them. So I'm using them in this army as Chaos Spawn, which I think is fine because Spawn are essentially just mutated dudes. And that's what these are. And these, because they're not beasts of Nurgle aren't a thing, they are demonic mounts, which essentially is what a beast of Nurgle was anyway. So there we go. So Lord on demonic mount and Sorcerer on demonic mount. And then I've got this, which is a Razor Gore chariot. I think I'm using it as. No, it's not. It's not the Razor Gore. It's the is it Brute Beast? What are the beasts called? The Gore Beast. There we go. So this is a Gore Beast chariot. But again, you can see this is an expanding foam debris that I made. I actually did make it as a Beastman chariot. You can see it's got the Beastman on. Yeah, I'm going to use it as a Gore Beast chariot. So this is actually 1,000 points. It doesn't look like 1,000 points, does it? But it's 1,000 point army. And then my son, here we go. Let's have a look. I'll show you actually what's in the actual 1,000 points. Warriors of Chaos. So the Chaos Lord has. Well, I don't need to click into it. he's got his hand weapon, but his hand weapon, because they've got the encircled weapons, his encircled weapon is a magic weapon with -1 armor. So it's like a biting blade, basically, for free that he's got. So that's cool. So it comes with essentially a biting blade. He's strength 5 anyway, so strength 5 -1 AP. I'm happy with that, to be honest. He's got full plate armor, Mark of Nurgle, so any 6s to hit miss. Do you have to reroll them? I can't even remember. Let's have a look. Mark of Nurgle is... it probably is here somewhere. Reroll 6s to hit, which means he can never be poisoned, so that's very cool. Yeah, so more likely to not be able to hit him. Plus, he's like weapon skill 7, I think. So yeah, weapon skill 7. So if you're weapon skill 3, you're hitting him on 5s, which means that actually, yeah, you're only hitting him on 5s. Like you can't hit him on 6s. So I think that's pretty good. So he's got what, 5 attacks, 5 strength 5 attacks with -1 AP. I mean, nah, you don't need a magic weapon. He's got 4 wounds at toughness 5, but he's on a demonic beast, a demonic mount, which gives him like an extra wound. Yeah, an extra wound. Plus another 2 strength 5 attacks. Weapons go 4. So there we go. Very good. So he's hardcore, even though I didn't spend many points on him. 35 points for his mount, 10 points for his Mark of Nurgle, and that's it. Yeah. So he's more or less base level points. Well, I don't know. What are they? 195 points? Does that make it? Yeah, about 195 points normally. So, okay, fine. I spent 45 points. Sorcerer, level 2 sorcerer. Also, Mark of Nurgle, demonic mount. Oh yes, and also they come with a 5+ ward save. Because they've got chaos armor. I mean, these guys they're already tooled up without any actual magic stuff. So he's got 5+ ward save as well in encircled weapons. What's the sorcerer's? 2 strength 4 attacks, which is fine. He'll have 3 wounds because he's also on a demonic mount, and the demonic mount's also got 2 strength 5 attacks. So I mean, these guys are good anyway. He's got a lore familiar and demonology because where's the demonology? Demonology. I'm hoping to, well, I'm going to be taking this one, Demonic Vessel, and using, yeah, so he'll be in the Chaos Knight unit, and giving them +1 strength, +1 attack, and another AP 1. So, I mean, the Sorcerer and the Lord are going to be AP -2. This is assuming he casts it. Now it's 10, he's a level 2 wizard, so he needs to get an 8 to cast it. So he's not going to get it off all the time, and it is only for 1 turn, so I guess I have to be a little bit lucky. Ideally you should be using a level 3 or 4 wizard to be casting that, but who cares, doesn't really matter. And I took a lore familiar so I could pick it. And I'll also be taking the Lore of Chaos, here it is. The Nurgle signature spell. Where's it? Oh, Slanesh. Here we go. This is the one. +1 toughness. Boom. And he can do that on a 7. So yeah, +1 toughness on my guys. So this guy is already toughness 5. Make him toughness 6. Will basically be impossible to wound. So that's very good. I approve of that. This guy, what's his toughness? I imagine toughness 4 as well. Toughness 4, so make him toughness 5, and I guess the Chaos Knights are like toughness 4. So I'll make them toughness 5 as well. So yeah, give them an extra attack with the other spell, and an extra strength. 2 strength 5 attacks from my knights. That's cool. Does it affect the mounts as well? So it affects the mounts. That would be very good. What was it? Demonic Vessels. They've got their mount. Oh my word. Yes. Oh. An extra attack for each of the demonic mounts. That's strength 6. It'll be strength 6. And then I'm getting way too excited by this. I really need to make him a higher level. Like a level 3 or level 4 at some point. But I am like only got 65 points left, so I was never manage it on this. But I don't know what I just did. Oh, I took a champion off. Yeah, so these guys, 2 attacks, strength 5, and the steeds, 2 attacks, also strength 5. So yeah, I mean that's cool. I really, really, really like that spell. I need to get in future versions of this list when it's higher than 1,000 points. He will be a level 3 or level 4, maybe level 4, so I can like almost guarantee getting that off, because him in a unit of knights, that just is amazing. Okay, cool. Anyway, so yeah, 12 warhounds, 5 knights, 3 spawn, and a gore beast chariot, all with Mark of Noggle. So there you go. So that's my army. My son is taking Black Orc Warboss with full plate armor. He's the general on a wyvern. Now he's got the what's the thing called? The Maw Crusher, because it looks amazing. Maw Crusher, I think it's spelled like that, isn't it? Maw Crusher. Yeah, man. Look at this bad boy. Very, very cool. I didn't realise that was Wayland Games, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, so it is a wyvern, but a wyvern that looks hardcore. So yeah, so he's got that. And it's on a square base. Now it is on the base that's like the Arachnarak size, but I don't care. It is awesome. So yeah, so he's got that as his general. He's also got a with the Battle Axe of the Last War, because when you're a Black Orc war boss, you've got to have a cool weapon. Where is it? Oh, it's down the bottom because it's an Orc one. Battle Axe of the Last Big War. Plus D6 extra attacks. Boom. Plus 2 strength. Minus 2. He's like strength 5 already, so it makes him strength 7. It does strike last, but he's got 9 wounds, I think, on his wyvern, so he ain't dying anytime soon. But if you do roll a 6, it runs out of power. But for that turn, he still gets the 6. So, but yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's so good. Like, what does that give him? How many attacks does that give him? He's got 4 attacks plus D6 every turn, so D6 plus 4. So maximum of 10 attacks, and he doesn't really want that. He'd prefer to have 9 attacks. At strength 7. Very, very good. He comes with 3 wounds. His wyvern gives him... his wyvern 4 wounds. Okay, so he'll be on 7 wounds. And his wyvern's got 3 strength 6 attacks as well. Also gives him an extra toughness. He's like toughness 5 already, so that makes him toughness 6. Woo, with 7 wounds. Wowee, this boy is hardcore. Cool, so there you go. He's taken a wizard. He's going to take battle magic. I was like, go on, take wild magic, a foot of Gork or something. But he's taken his lore familiar and battle magic because he wants his fireball and his fire tornado. So fine, yeah, it's cool and all. Actually, fire tornado is particularly good against the unit of knights because on ones they die if they move through it, right? Because it's dangerous terrain. 20 Black Orcs with I felt like they had additional hand weapons. Oh yeah, there they are. Additional hand weapons. They actually don't need shields because I don't have any shooting. But there we go. Because if they're using additional hand weapons, they're not going to be using their shields in combat. But whatever. How much would it save him? 20 points. Which is enough. Wait, is that enough for an extra? It is. I'm going to save him 20 points, and he can have another snotling mob. Add another one to this unit. Boom. Oh wait. How did I work that out? I thought they were 35 points each. What are they? 75. Oh, 94. Wait. What? Wait a minute. What just happened there? Shields. I paid for 1 shield. Oh. Oh, right. Okay. Now, I thought this... Oh, fine. Well, I misunderstood how this worked. I was like, oh yeah, just give them additional hand weapons. But yes, they've got motley crew, so they can actually have different guys with different weapons. I see. Alright, well he's got 7 guys with additional hand weapons. We'll just play it as the other guys can have them, they can pick them up. I don't really care. Okay, so there we go. I thought that was give everyone a hand weapon. Fine. So yeah, so he's got 20 Black Orcs, 7 of which have additional hand weapons, probably. Full plate armor. Full plate armor. I mean, Black Orcs armor has been getting better and better over the years. I'm pretty sure like in 6th edition, they had light armor. Maybe. I could be making that up. I feel like they might have done. And then heavy armor, now full plate armor. So yeah, there we go. Very good. 4+ armor save is very good. Yeah, Black Orcs have never been harder. Wow, I don't know, there might have been an 8th. Actually, it was very good when they just came with all the weapons. What was that called? Armed to the Teeth. That was 7th edition. And they just, yeah, I'd much prefer that over Motley Crew. Whatever. Yeah, so there we go. He's got 20 Black Orcs, 2 Snotling bases, and a giant. So his army is about the same size as mine. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23 models is mine. So I just count mine up. So he's got 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 models. These are tiny 1,000 point armies. My Goblin army's got 26 goblins in 1 unit without anything else. And that's 750 points. But there we go, there's goblins. So yeah, so we've gone full on like really condensed, compact, hardcore units, apart from I've got Chaos Hounds actually, which are just rubbish. Probably rubbish. I don't know, maybe they're right. Actually no, they're better than I thought they were. In fact, that is something that I didn't say. In my Chaos Hounds have got poisoned attacks. Do they? Yeah, I gave them poison attacks. That's cool. Oh, I gave them Vanguard as well. Forgot about that. Yeah, poison attacks. Love it. Do they just get 1 attack each? Yeah, 1 attack each. But they're poisoned. Take that, Black Orcs. Oh, take that. Take that, Black Orc War Boss. Yeah. You won't see that coming. Poison attacks. On the Black Orc War Boss. He'll be annoyed with that. And probably his giant would be annoyed too. Yeah, they definitely need to attack either the War Boss or the giant. Shh, don't tell him. So yeah, so there we go. So those are the armies anyway. He's been desperate to try out his giant, and that's the main reason. The main reason he wanted to play with his orcs was because he wanted to try out his wyvern and his giant. And then like Black Orcs are cool, Snotlings are cool, and he loves his wizard. So it's basically like his perfect army, to be honest, even if it is tiny. So yeah, so that's what we're playing tomorrow anyway. And yeah, we'll do a battle report, and I'll put that on the upload that, and will it be tomorrow night? Maybe tomorrow night. So yeah, there we go. Cool. All right. Well, that was hopefully that was an interesting episode. We covered a new scenario that we've not tried yet. Did a battle report on the dwarves. Dwarfs versus the goblins, and had a look at the units. So yeah, anyway, hopefully that was interesting enough. It was good to went through quite a lot of rules actually, learn a bit more about how fear and terror work, and stupidity as well, and all of the terrain things. So that was cool. Because otherwise I probably wouldn't have bothered reading those until I needed them. Well, I need them now. So there we go. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Hopefully that was interesting, and catch you in the next video.